Good afternoon, family. Thanks for checking out today's video. If you're new here, my name is Jonathan, and I created this channel as a way to record my progress as I work towards my goal of losing 300 pounds in 3 years. If you'd like to join the family, hit that subscribe button down below. Also, make sure you click on the bell icon so you get alerted when I go live or post new videos. If you'd like to participate on the discussion, like our Tiny Acres and Janet and Rick here, you can join me most weekdays where I go live around 4 p.m. Central Time. Or outside of my live stream, you could consider joining the Discord I've created. There is a link for that down in the description below. Also, down in the description below is a link to a Pinterest board. A lot of times people ask what kind of meals I'm eating to lose weight, or what kind of food do we eat on our whole food plant-based diet. And that Pinterest board is a great place to see a lot of the different meals that we have been enjoying. Today is day 786 of my 3-year challenge to lose 300 pounds. I've used a combination of extended water fasting and a whole food, plant-based, salt, oil, sugar-free diet to lose over 235 pounds so far. I have just over 10 months to go to lose the remaining 63 pounds that I have to lose, or 64 pounds I have to lose. And I'm very excited about achieving my goal and then maintaining a healthy weight. If anybody has any non-scale victories, I'd love to hear your non-scale victories. If you have any on-scale victories, I loved hearing those as well. If you succeeded with your diet over this past holiday weekend, let us know what you did to succeed. What were some of the things that you were able to do that made your weekend a success with your diet? If you failed, what are some things that caused failures? What can you learn from? And, what are you going to be doing going forward that will make staying on your diet easier than the alternative? I have a cough. I don't really feel sick, I had been feeling sick through the weekend. I'll talk about that a little bit, but I just have a little bit of a cough that I need to clear my throat, and then I feel generally fine other than that. But let's go ahead and switch over to the main here. Got a bunch of people here checking in. Like I said, our Tiny Acres and Janet and Rick. Hello, Carrie. Let's see. Everybody's checking in about Christmas here. Rick says he got a Mr. Potato Head. That is awesome. And that's great. Tennis and Your Girl says hello. Let's see. How are you doing? I am doing great. We had a really wonderful holiday weekend with the family. Got to get some good quality time in, and it was really nice. We went out, did shopping, did a bunch of all that holiday stuff, and had the family get-togethers, and it was really nice to be able to have a great holiday weekend. And for me, the big non-scale victory for me, and I'm sure for hopefully for many of you, was that I was able to get through the weekend without succumbing to any of the temptation, without having I did have the temptation, and I'll go into it a little bit, but I was able to talk myself out of it. I had food in my future, or I put food in my future that was a better option than what I was craving or what I was, was tempted by. Our Tiny Acre says you had a good holiday. That's awesome. Yeah, we uh had lots of family stuff on Saturday. It was, with the holiday being on a Sunday, it kind of makes it interesting because, like, today being Monday, a bunch of stuff's closed down still. And normally we would kind of be not closed down, but because it was there. Carrie says that she got the Ninja Creamy, and she is beyond excited for some ice cream. Yes, she was wanting to get the Ninja Creamy, so Santa Claus delivered that to us this weekend, and we will have some different ice creams with that. She's very excited about that. And Rick saying that we need to throw together an ice cream social. I'm sure. I don't think you would travel up here right now. It's going to get warmer. It's this whole weekend it was like -11, and then now it's going to get up to 40 degrees here by the middle of the week. But I don't think you'd want to come visit. And I don't know that we even needed this Ninja Creamy to make ice cream last week. It was so cold. You just throw it outside. Um, and Rick says cold there too. It's 27 degrees. Oh, that's I don't even know. It is warmer here today, but it was still not too bad weather-wise here. And Our Tiny Acres, that's 15 here. Our Tiny Acres says that they got a Ninja Creamy for their birthday, and they got some recipes that a friend gave you. Yeah, I'm sure Carrie would love those. Maybe throw them on the Discord if you get a chance, or if there's a place online where they can see them, that'd be great. Uh, Sorry, Carrie says that so far she's just dumped canned fruits into the containers and froze them. So she's just getting it figured out. Yes. And yeah, it was really good holiday. I guess I got this. I think I got. Oh, I don't have it all. I had it queued up, but I'll go over food a little bit from the weekend. I just gotta find where the last. I think this was the last time we were that too. Let's see. It is, here we go. So this was Thursday before Christmas here. So this was the 23rd, I guess. But we had Spanish rice and beans for dinner on Thursday. And then Friday, Carrie had sent me this. I didn't go live Friday, did I? I don't think I went live Friday. I don't remember going live Friday, but we ended up having Friday evening for dinner. Yeah, okay, I did not go live Friday. I'll get into that in just a minute too, Cindy. Yes. So Friday, for dinner, we had brown rice noodles with a marinara sauce that Carrie had made herself. Something that I was kind of just wanting something to fill me up. This is a meal that we don't have a lot, and it is one of the meals that really kind of helped convince me that volume eating and this way of eating is what I need to do to lose weight. And the in the past, having brown rice noodles with marinara sauce during a diet would not be, I guess I wouldn't have had but having pasta noodles with marinara sauce, I would not have had. But very early on in this diet, we had this meal once or twice, and it's always been marinara sauce that we've made ourselves, which does make it a more difficult meal to make. But I really a couple times have done that where I've eaten this and I've filled myself up on it and I've regretted that, had that, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have eaten that much of that food, or I shouldn't have eaten so much food. But then the next day I get on the scale and I don't see a difference in my weight, or I've actually seen my weight get, go further down than I expected. And a lot of it is because that I'm always full now. In the past when I was having, I was doing these diets, they were very restrictive diets. So I didn't have a lot in my stomach. So when you would fill up or have a big meal like this, then it's going to affect the amount of volume that's in your body and your weight's going to go up. But I'm always full now. I always have a volume of food in my stomach. And so, this is just one of the meals that we don't have much, but I really do like, because it's a simple meal and it fills me up. So our tiny acres, yeah, I think the Discord does allow you to vote, put photos and stuff like that up there, no problem. Yeah, it's a place where you can do that kind of stuff. Saturday we had our regular oatmeal with the spinach and mushrooms and onions. Let's see. I guess I can show you a photo of our old dog here. This is Guinness. Guinness is at least 16 years old, or he's going on 16 years old now. I adopted him in 2007 and he was a puppy. But he's wearing a coat because he's old and it was very cold and he was not happy about being outside. And so this is what we had on Saturday. So we had chili. What was this? This was leftover chili. I think I might have showed photos from this the other day, but this was a leftover chili from a get together we had at work on Thursday of last week. And so I had that chili heated up and then I threw a golden potato in there. And I didn't take a picture of the potato mashed up inside the chili, but I mashed it up in there. I guess it would have looked similar to a different one here. Yeah, Carrie's saying that this is the leftovers from that chili on Thursday. And then so this was Saturday. Sunday, I didn't take photos of breakfast. I don't know why. Oh, I guess it was Christmas morning. So, Saturday. Oh, so we didn't. Okay, that because it hasn't been Christmas yet on my photos. This is Saturday evening. We got together with some family on Saturday evening, and we had some food that Carrie had prepared for us. The loaf here up in the corner is the Linda's. Oh my gosh. Is the Linda's meatloaf, which we've had a few times. I really enjoy the Linda's meatloaf. And then she had made some mashed potatoes where she just used some West soy milk to mash them or make them a little thicker. I'm sorry, give them creaminess. And then she made this mushroom gravy that was really good. There was miso in the mushroom gravy. And so it had a little bit more of a sodium content or flavor to it, but it was really good. I just took all of that food there and actually I just mixed it all together and ate it as like one big loaf of food. Let me put this here for a second. I don't know what these other photos are. Okay. And so then yesterday, which was Christmas Day. So this was food from Christmas Day for me here. So Carrie said that gravy that we had was from the plant-based woman warrior gravy is what she said it's from. She said it's amazing and that you think everyone would have loved it. Though we were not willing to share. Yes, you have your food and we have our food. We brought our own food. Um, but yeah, it was really good. I had a couple servings of that Linda's meatloaf with the mashed potatoes and the gravy. Sorry, I had to get something to drink. My throat's just bugging me. And then yesterday here was our regular oatmeal, and Carrie put together one of my favorites. This was polenta and white beans and mushrooms. So this is what we ended up having yesterday for dinner. Just kind of hanging out with the family, and this is actually the second serving. Or well, maybe no. I ate a lot of this yesterday, and I was hungry, and I just didn't feel like I had eaten a lot throughout the day. We got started late with breakfast being a little bit later, and then we didn't eat a lunch because we did a family Christmas thing. So we got together with family twice. And so then yesterday I had a ton of food, but this is the second serving, or this is the last serving I had, and there was so much vegetable left over and hardly any of the polenta. And so and so that was my dinner last night. But I think Carrie has been getting tomatoes from a different place because she was having a hard time getting tomatoes with no salt added, or that these are cheaper or something. So the tomatoes are a little bit different, but I really liked them, and I love this dish. If you are trying to find a recipe idea and you've been eating plant-based, or you're looking to eat plant-based, I think that the polenta with white beans and mushroom is a wonderful recipe to give it a shot. And then this morning for breakfast, we had oatmeal. We did not have our savory oatmeal. We actually had the sweet oatmeal this morning. So this has got apples and bananas in it, and it was really good. I didn't take any photos, but Carrie did say that she did make some black bean brownies for Christmas Eve, and I did have a couple black bean brownies on Christmas Eve. But she uses a recipe that doesn't use any added salt, oil, or sugar. It gets its sweetness. It might use maple syrup for its sweetness. I think that does, or dates, one of the others. So, and so Carrie's talking a little bit about the other stuff that she had made. I think that she had made some French toast for the kids to eat on Christmas morning. Yeah, and she was just talking about that her French toast that she made for the kids is chickpea flour, soy milk, cinnamon, nutmeg, and vanilla. And then the kids put some syrup on there, but berries would be amazing as well. Yeah, I'm sure it would be. I did not have any of that. I was sticking to the diet through the Christmas weekend. I did have quite a bit of temptation on Christmas Eve, Saturday. We got in a position where it was just me and Carrie. We were in town, and we were shopping, and we were near a Chipotle, and it was bugging me. I had the little guy in the back of my head saying, "Hey, you should go get Chipotle. It'll be easy. You don't have to worry about making food when you get home, and things will be set." And I was very close to going to Chipotle and getting food for the family and getting a burrito, and but instead I knew I had food at home. We were at a store, and we picked up some Lara bars, and we had some oranges, and we got some food. So I had food there, and so it was something where it would have been, me going out of my way to do this at that point. And so it I was trying to convince myself that it was going to be convenient to do that, but I just kind of put things in place that wasn't more convenient to do that anymore, and I was making it easier to stay on my diet. And so um oh, Carrie's saying the French toast recipe also has sugar in it. And Janet's asking, can you use dates in you're talking about with the uh the French toast recipe? I'm not sure. But um so yeah, I was pretty tempted on Saturday, but I I want to stay compliant. I want to, I've been seeing such great success here for the past few months, and I don't want to do anything that's going to screw that up, especially kind of with the week I got coming up. Cindy did ask about my doctor's appointment. I think I went over it a little bit last week, but I went and no, I did not. I did not go over the doctor's appointment because the doctor's appointment was on Friday. So yes, I went and saw my doctor on Friday, and he had the results from the MRI, and he described it as a high grade partial tear of my bicep tendon. He said that he recommended that I have surgery to have the tendon repaired. He said I could live with it without having the tendon repaired, but I probably wouldn't have the strength that I did have in that arm, and it would be kind of um, I would continually notice that I was hitting a limit, and there was also the chance that that I'll just tear it more or completely at some point anyways. And so I am scheduled to go in and have surgery on my distal bicep tendon this Wednesday. So I will be live tomorrow, and then I'm not sure if I'll be live again the rest of this week or if it'll be next week before I go back and do live again. But yeah, um frustrated that this has happened. It's the second time since I started this challenge that I've torn my distal bicep tendon. I tore my left distal bicep tendon in July of 2021, and now fast forward a year and a half, and I've torn my right distal bicep tendon in December of 2022. So um it's uh it's frustrating to have it happen, uh and it's and I don't even know, like, it's just kind of both times were complete accidents. I wasn't like working out at the gym. It's an injury I think that they see a lot of times people have or do while they're doing lifting or different types of lifts, and that was not the case for me. I was lifting. Uh, uh, it was actually like it was the garbage can for our drive, for our house that I was lifting. And it's just, yeah, it's just partially tore, but he recommended that we have surgery, and he kind of showed me on the MRI how much of it was torn. It was kind of hard to get a exact perspective of what I was looking at. But um so is it a long recovery process? I believe that I'm going to be 3 weeks where they're going to want the arm completely immobilized for 3 weeks, and then there will be 3 months in a brace at least. And then it goes from there. But yeah, I'll be in a arm brace that will have my arm like locked at a 90-degree angle, for at least 3 weeks. Or I'm sorry, my arm will be in that brace for at least 3 months, but it'll be locked in a solid position for the first few weeks, and then they'll start working on my range of motion. I really hope that the surgery goes as smoothly as it did the last time. It went pretty quickly, I guess. Like in hindsight, now that it's over, and my arm doesn't give me any pain or any issues, and so there is some concern that I will lose some feeling in my forearm at the site where they kind of do all the work. And I could, but there's a few other little issues that could happen that I didn't experience the last time. So hopefully, it works out all right. Carrie saying that, yeah, this time it is my dominant arm, so it is going to be a little bit tougher. Carrie had asked me the other day about doing something, but yeah, like when it was my left arm, I was still able to like shift the thing on the steering wheel fairly easy. Now I'm gonna have to work on shifting with my left arm, I guess. And Sydney here says, sorry you have to go through this. After all the healing, hopefully you'll come out of this with a stronger tendon. Yeah, well, that's really what is gonna happen, is that I will end up having a stronger, that tendon will be connected with a stronger connection than what it was originally. And it's something where I used to have I used to get pain in my elbows more when I worked out. And so, it might be something that was, it's something that, I may have had to have this happen. This was going to be something that I would have to have done at some point in my life. And I avoided it because, I was pretty inactive for the past 10 years, I imagine, is what helped. Let's see. Tennis yoga girl here says injuries are a huge convenient, but that is life. Been there, done that. The setbacks can be a setup for a comeback. Yes. This, it'd be such an easy excuse. I have this, this injury to use to, as an excuse to give into my temptations. Like this weekend, like that was part of the thing that maybe made Saturday more difficult, where I was like, well, I'm going to be having surgery anyways. I'm not going to really, I'm not going to worry about my weight for the next couple of weeks, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to worry about my diet. But in my head this past weekend, when I was fighting that temptation, I was like, wow, you're not going to worry about your weight. What's it going to hurt to have a burrito today? And then, in a couple weeks, it won't make a difference because you'll have had 2 weeks of clean eating, to get rid of it. And so, but that is something that, when I started this challenge, I challenged myself to do this for 3 years. And that 3 years was rain or shine, snow, hail, injuries, good luck, bad luck. It was about doing it through that time period. It wasn't about doing it as long as it's convenient within the next 3 years. It was doing it no matter what for the next 3 years. And if we allow excuses to derail us from our goals, then we never are going to get anything done, because everybody can always find an excuse for their decision. You can justify your decision anyway, and people are going to support you for making that decision, you know, and or they're at least gonna, they verbally or externally they can support you. So um Janet says, spoken like a true addict. um right, and maybe that's the yeah, the comment about the I'm not gonna, you know, 2 weeks, you know, talking to yourself, and yeah. um and so the our tiny acres, you just joined the Discord, awesome. So hopefully you can share some of that recipe stuff with Carrie there. um and yeah, it's but it's so like the when you allow any excuse to let you get off your diet, then every excuse works, or every, you know, and so you can come up with every excuse. And um the uh yeah, it's just so crazy. um I was trying to figure out, sorry guys. So this injury, you know, in the last time I got injured in August, this injury wasn't what caused me to fall off the wagon specifically, but it did have a bearing on me uh me falling off the wagon, I guess is the best term I can use. So um just a history again. If I know many of you guys have followed along and you know this, but for the first 11 months I was dead on with this diet. I was doing amazing. About 9.5, 10 months in, I tore my distal bicep tendon and I had to have the surgery. And I went through the surgery, stayed compliant with my diet through the surgery, but my weight loss did slow down at the time. And it was partly because of the injury, but it was also because a lot changed because of the injury uh caused me to be less active, and I was becoming very active right before the injury. And so I was eating foods that I could get away with because I was more active. But then when I got injured and became less active, I didn't change my diet. And so I was still eating juices and eating some higher calorie dense foods that I was able to get away with while I was training for the triathlon. Um, and so then my weight loss started to level out. I was at an equilibrium because I didn't have that physical activity to kind of counteract the increase in calories. And so I hovered for a little bit. And then after a month and a half or so, we were out of town. We were celebrating an achievement for our nonprofit. And I think it kind of made it easier for me to uh, give into that temptation, you know, because the weight loss had slowed down, and I was very curious as to how a lot of these foods were going to taste after um, I reached my goal weight, because I was still in that my diet now is not going to be my diet for the rest of my life. And I've changed that mentality, or I'm beginning to change that mentality that um because the diet that I'm eating now is absolutely the diet I'm going to eat the rest of my life. We may make changes, we may find new recipes, but this way of eating is going to be the way that I eat the rest of my life. I'm not going to have a time in my life where I'm eating vegan foods on like pizzas and processed vegan foods on a regular basis. It's not something that is going to happen. But this time, this injury, I'm confident that I can get through the injury and stay compliant. But um, but it'd be very easy for me to use this as an excuse to just a little bit, just today, just what, just until the, and I'm not through that period at all. Like I can't say I've succeeded yet, but my intention is to succeed. And I am I'm I can know I can, and I because of my previous experience, I also know that I need to be paying attention to things for a long, for a longer time. I let my guard down. I allowed this injury to cause me to let my guard down. Um, I wasn't doing a lot of physical activity going into this, so my diet, I think, is going to be good. I don't think I'm going to see that change in the weight loss, but I'm not going to worry about my weight loss for the next couple weeks either, because I need to worry about my arm. And um, I I really attribute my quick recovery last time to the fact that I was eating a very healthy diet. And I really think that the no sodium is a big benefit. And I hope Carrie knows that I'm hoping to have no salt tortilla chips when I get done with surgery, like I did last time, because um, the the nurses kind of made a comment about it, but I brought my own tortilla chips last time after surgery because I knew they wouldn't have anything and that they would want me to, Carrie says, I got you. Uh, they'll want me to eat something before they'll release me um, from the surgery center. Um, but, uh, but yeah, I have this excuse I could have used easily to eat some food. I still could use easily to eat some food, but that's off diet or that's kind of tempting. And there was other temptations too with the holidays, candy being around. It's very tempting, but I ate a lot of food. When I had food able that I was able to eat, I ate a lot of food. That white bean and polenta, that was a lot of food I ate that day. The Spanish rice and beans, I ate a lot of food that night. We had Spanish rice and beans. Um, and even at the Saturday night, we had Christmas, like a dinner. Um, the mashed potatoes with the gravy and the Linda's meatloaf. I ate a lot of food and I didn't shy away from it because that is what you have to succeed. And I really I I'm gonna go longer, whatever. But I see so many people and I wish I could give them what I've learned over these past 2 years and show them that there's so many mistakes that people are making with the way they're eating. Like, how many people are fasting themselves today? How many people are sitting here eating less food today because it's the consequence of their overindulgence this weekend? Well, I overindulged. I indulged tremendously in foods that were compliant, in foods that were healthy foods. And I don't have to now Monday sit here and fast and starve myself because of my indulgences. And there's millions of people out there right now today that are eating half portions of food or skipping meals because they overindulged this weekend. And it's just insane to me that people don't they they are missing such an opportunity with this way of eating. There's so many different stories I see online of people that have problems with losing weight or maintaining weight loss. And and a lot of you guys that follow me, that it doesn't have to be difficult to lose weight. But it is time consuming. It's not going to happen tomorrow. It's not going to happen this week. I mean, if you have just a little bit of weight to lose, then you can maybe do it in a little bit of time. But if you have a lot of weight to lose, this is a time. I'm not sure what's going on with that, Our Tiny Acres. Why it would give you a grief on the Discord. I'll look at it when I get done. So, it's a time commitment, guys. It's a time commitment no matter what happens. It's a time commitment regardless of how many birthdays have to come up, how many Christmas parties have to happen, how many Halloweens you have to go through. You have to stay committed and you have to stay consistent day after day. And when you do that, you'll see results and you'll see the weight going in the direction you want to go. And for me, right now, being at the lightest weight that I've ever been since I was 18 years old is really just been a weird shift in my mentality about it. I am so disappointed in all of the years that I missed because I didn't understand this concept and understanding that I require a volume of food and not a calorie count of food. That if I would have understood that and that I could change the preferences that my taste buds have by choosing to eat foods that aren't overstimulated, that I could satisfy my volume craving and lose weight at the same time, or become a healthy weight, get to a healthy weight. And if I would have understood that at a younger age, I would have done, how much different would things have been, and I think in the back of my head, I did understand it in some ways because I can remember buying pills from a late night infomercial that all they were like these fiber, like they said, take these pills, the coating will dissolve and they'll blow up in your stomach and they'll become like these big masses in your stomach. And that'll help you to not eat food. And for me, those probably would have worked they would have been helpful. They wouldn't have worked, but they would have reduced the calorie density, like that's the thing. Well, the problem is that they didn't weigh anything. Like they might've had mass, but they didn't have actual volume, like the, weight wise. Cindy here says that you think the time commitment plans out to an advantage, gives you time to develop long-lasting habits to embrace the whole food lifestyle. Yeah, it plays out. Plays out to an advantage. Yes, there's so much about this diet that in the long run, there's an advantage to it. When you do these other diets, I talked about this a lot in the past couple weeks, that when you look at doing a low carb or a keto diet, it's such an easy diet to start. Like it's so easy to do. You just, eat these super high fat foods, high calorie dense foods, and have as much as you want. And when you can do that for the first week, then while it's easy, but then once you start to see how difficult it is to stay on that diet and stay happy without eating food, then it becomes more difficult to stay on a keto diet. I would venture to guess that if there's probably thousands of people throughout the world that started a keto diet the same day I started my diet here. And I would venture to bet that there's very few of them that are still sticking to their keto diet as well as I've stuck to this diet and seen success like I've seen. This diet is got a steeper learning curve. It does start off more difficult, but as time goes on, this diet gets easier. It was easier for me to overcome that temptation this weekend, and it'll be easier for me to overcome my next temptation because I overcame the last temptation. That's another thing that's nice, is that a lot of times these temptations that we give into, they become difficult to wrestle back. Going to movie theaters, I screwed that up. Well, I would buy sodas there, or I would buy the candy there. And I had to wrestle that control back. But now going to a movie theater, I feel so much more confident. I know that I can put things in place that'll make it easier for me. But again, this diet starts off more difficult, becomes easier. A lot of these diets that people are trying start off super easy, and then they become extremely difficult because you can't maintain eating that small of an amount of food for a long time. And Carrie says, yeah, it's the time commitment also, because you have to make food from scratch. There's no convenient food. You learn to plan and make it work for you, but it's daunting to some at first. Yes, the having to make the food from scratch, it's something that it actually, for me, benefits the weight loss at the beginning, because you eat super simple. You eat, I would eat cans of corn. I would eat Ezekiel bread or nut with nut butter. I would eat just a pineapple out of the can. Like, I would just find food that was as easy as possible. But now that we've gotten better at making foods, that, in the past where I might have made Ezekiel bread with nut butter, now I actually cook some potatoes and make some root vegetables, and some fry ups, or put some vegetables in a saute pan and just cook them up. And I might because I know how to cook, and I know it's going to be more satisfying if I do take that 20 minutes or half hour, that I'll do that now. But at the beginning, I would eat real simple. And when I ate real simple, then the calorie density seemed to be pretty low. And it did help me to lose weight. So the better you do get at cooking, the more difficult it does get to lose weight, because you start to figure out how to make higher calorie dense foods, or you start making foods that you enjoy more. And so you eat more of those foods. But it's, yeah, the big difference too is the time. Like people always like to complain about how difficult it is to eat a keto diet, but they're figuring it out. Like, they're complaining. He's like, oh, well, I had to go to the store and I had to order this sandwich without these 4 items. And that's, but you're able to figure it out, and you still got to keep the 4 items, or the few items on that sandwich that you wanted in the first place. You weren't really giving up anything, losing the bun. And so, but yeah, let's see. Barb says, yes, time. That's why the simpler, the better with meals. Yeah. And, it's nice to we have a variety of ingredients around now too. When we first started, we had, ingredients here or there, or we would have ingredients for recipes, but now we have more ingredients that are in multiple recipes. So we have that ingredient on hand more, if that makes sense. But yeah, it's, simple meals make it go fat. It's easy. If you're looking for an easy diet, this diet can be easy. You just have to simplify your meals. If you're looking for a difficult diet, you can make it difficult. You just make difficult meals. Our Tiny Acres says that you don't follow the no salt, oil, sugar as good as you want to, but more and more you're not wanting to eat out, and that's the only time you have those. Yes, that's really, because we control our food, like Carrie said, we make so much of it from scratch. We get to control that. And um it's that I talk about it a lot, but it's that little bit of extra love. It's that little bit of extra love that the restaurant puts in, or we're using mom's recipe that had that extra love in it. Well, that extra love was extra salt, extra oil, and extra sugar. That's what that extra love was. And the restaurants use that same stuff, and um they want you to love their food. That's all. That's They want you to come back. Like, that's their driver. So but yeah, eating out, uh it's it would be nice if there was places for us to do that, but it's just not in the cards right now. Or it's not really, um it's not really going to be something that we're able to do. And then Carrie says, yeah, and then paying $5 for a baked potato when your Instant Pot potatoes are so much better. Yeah, like, um, and and Rick says $5 buys a lot of potatoes. Yes, it does. We were just Carrie sent me a message the other day, or said something about how expensive eggs were right now, and like, we just bought 5 pounds of potatoes. What was it, a month or two ago? They were 5 pounds for 99 cents. She was saying that a dozen eggs was almost $5 now. Like, you can eat cheap on this diet for sure. But um yeah, Barb says that they don't eat out anymore, and you don't miss it. You like your food better. You develop that food preference, that taste preference, like, that's um and it's crazy. Um yeah, our tiny acre says that that's for sure. Your last bill going out was $50, and that could buy you a lot of food. Yeah, I don't know. Carrie's been out to eat more recently than I've been out to eat. I don't even remember the last time I went out to eat. Like, because we, like, for Thanksgiving, we just ate at home the whole time. Like, we might have gone out to a place, but we didn't order any. I don't know the last time I went out to eat. It might have been a few months ago now. Um, Sarasota, Florida. I appreciate that. Yeah. Um, and then you're saying you're doing My Way of Eating, John McDougall and Fuhrman. Yeah, I like both of them. I really enjoyed Fuhrman's book. That book definitely changed a lot of my understanding of nutrition and food like that. Noel here says, hi all, showing up late, but agreeing with all. The easiest and cheapest to be SOS vegan. Yeah, SOS vegan at home. Yes, it's so cheap to be this way. And it's really surprisingly so. And I don't ever, the biggest thing for this diet, that like, the abundance of food. I just really feel like I have to strive that for people, is that you get to eat the food. And I started to say it earlier. There's millions of people out there that today are skipping meals and that aren't eating. And I think it is the absolute worst possible thing that you could be doing for yourself, is to ingest a bunch of junk food or crap food that your body shouldn't have in it, and then spend the next 24 to 48 hours starving yourself. And the only food that you're allowing your body to live off of is the junk food that you had just eaten that previous weekend. Like, I believe that if you ate junk food yesterday, then today you should be eating 10 pounds of potatoes and 4 pounds of broccoli and 2 pounds of cauliflower and a pound of zucchini and a head of lettuce. And you should be eating an incredible abundance of food that is healthy and health promoting after you eat junk food. You shouldn't let your body fester in it. You should be filling the system to push that crap out. But that's not what people are doing. Everybody's sitting at home today lamenting at their poor food choices. I feel amazing. I have not had an upset stomach or felt like crap because what I've eaten for months, for probably since I started this. I haven't had a stomach ache like I had before starting this. But yeah. Our Tiny Acre says that you've read so many books now and watching lots of people on YouTube. Yeah, that's I have my whole list of books that I've read on in the description below, and there's so like I feel like there's so many people pushing eating this way or close to this way, and the yeah, I don't know. I'd seen, you see family and friends and you see people posting things on social media and you see people at the store, and I just think of how much my diet has changed my life and my health, and how I'm not free of the consequences of my bad dietary choices or the consequences of life. I mean, regardless of what diet I was eating, me tearing my distal bicep tendon is something that may have happened sooner, may have happened later, may have never happened, but it's an accident and things happen, like there was a lot of things that led up to that. We did not take garbage out the week before, so the garbage can was twice as heavy as it normally is, and it was wet and rainy that morning and all kinds of stuff. But I can't know that I won't get into a car accident at some point. But when it comes to my health and my diet, I have made the changes that I'm seeing benefit from. And I truly believe that if people took the time to change their diet, to remove the processed foods, to remove the added salt, oil, and sugar from their diet, that there would be an incredible improvement in the health of people as a whole. Dina A says, I enjoy being in the kitchen so much more now, preparing all the healthy meals. You find chopping the vegetables, fruits, and tubers very relaxing and meditative. Batch cooking rice and potatoes is helpful too. Yes, Carrie makes up big pot of rice for the kids pretty much every day, or that's what they had for dinner yesterday was reheated rice with some the liquid aminos in it. But yeah, having that food, and it's satisfying to be so hands-on with your food too. Like it's something where there's it's easy to be hands off, and it's great. Like people love to not have to deal with food. You don't have to think about it. You don't even have to know how to cook it, and you get food that tastes good. But it doesn't mean it's healthy for you. But now, yeah, I enjoy having so much more control over the food and what goes in my body, and that, like, when I eat just a little bit poorly, when I eat just a little bit off diet, like the fact that I can tell immediately really, I think for me, shines a light on how bad my diet used to be, because I don't think I always felt bad, like I couldn't tell the difference that a little bit too much salt made in my diet. And I think it was because I was always like redlining it, like I was always at the extreme. And so my body was always freaking out because I never gave it a chance to relax. But yeah, it was a great weekend. I'm so happy that I was able to stay compliant. And, this is my third Christmas since starting the challenge. The first Christmas, I was very compliant, but I was very new to this. Like um, I was a month into, I was 2 weeks into eating this diet. So I really, I had fasted throughout November and then I started eating this way in the middle of December. So it was very new to me. I was very excited about it. Then last year, I was in that limbo period. Like I'd have to go back and look at my live videos to see even what I was eating. But I know that I would have tried things, or I wasn't compliant on my diet. So um, this year has been a challenge, or it's been my challenge to get through this holiday season and New Year's coming up this weekend and continue to be on my diet and to thrive on my diet. I was extremely happy with the meals that we had and the volume of food that I was able to eat. I was frustrated with myself that I had to fight myself with the temptation, but I'm happy that I was able to get through it. And in reality, I don't know that I was ever that close, like I was proximity wise, I saw the place, the temptation, and that's what made it probably worse. If I'd have gone shopping somewhere else where that store didn't exist, then it wouldn't have ever even crossed my mind. But um I made it through. I'm not sure what I'm going to do about weighing it. I don't know if I'll weigh in tomorrow or with the surgery Wednesday. I'm not sure how that's going to work, but um I weighed in this morning. I'm 283.6, so I'm right at the same weight that I was going into this weekend, and I'm I'm looking for. In fact, just a quick. This is a very long video today. I had I had to fill out pre-check-in paperwork for the surgery center, and so last Friday I got the paperwork. I got online, filled out all the pre-check-in stuff, and then Friday afternoon I got a call from the surgery place, and the lady called me and she said, hey, I just wanted to check, it looks like you might have had a typo here. You wrote down that your weight was 385 pounds. And I was like, oh no, that's wrong. It was supposed to be 285. But I think it was interesting, because a couple years ago, I would have dreamed, I would have loved it if that would have been my weight, like I, the mistake would have been the other direction, that maybe I would have typed in 385 and I was actually 485 pounds. So, but it was kind of a neat little, like, oh yeah, no, I'm way less than 385 pounds. Who's crazy enough to weigh that much? Yeah. Um, But but yeah, so I have surgery this Wednesday. I plan on going live tomorrow normally, and then I don't know how the rest of the week will go, but I'll be on tomorrow. I really appreciate all you guys. I know I say it every video, but I do appreciate you. It definitely helps me having this channel, this accountability that I'm going to come back. I'm going to talk to you guys about how this weekend went. Makes it a lot easier for me. And I I know that this weekend's tough, and that a lot of us, a lot of people out there didn't make it through this weekend as successfully as they wanted. But I just gotta say, get started, take advantage of the fact that you can start new every day, but start making the plans, start doing the things to get going, and start getting your own diet challenge in place. Start your own 3-year challenge to lose your 300 pounds. Maybe it's not 300, maybe it's 150 for you, or 200, but commit to the time, no matter what what happens, because everybody's going to have an excuse. You're going to always have something that gets in the way, or it causes it to be more difficult. But nothing's easy. And even being fat wasn't easy. It wasn't easy for me to be fat. I had to work really hard to be fat. So, anyways, if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, you can subscribe to the channel now. If you haven't clicked on the bell icon to get alerted when I go live or post new videos, I'd love it if you do that. If you have not, hit the thumbs up and commented down below. Make sure you do that as well. And last but not least, if you've not started your diet, get started right now. There's nothing coming up. We just had Christmas. I know New Year's is coming up. Just get started right now, guys. There's nobody that reaches their goals, looks back, and wishes they would have waited. Everybody looks back and says, I wish I would have started sooner. I'd be so much further along. Just get started now, guys. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much for the kind words. I will be live tomorrow, and we will talk about getting ready for surgery, I guess. All right. You guys all have a great evening.